For what purpose does the gentleman from Pennsylvania rise?
I rise to strike the requisite number of words.
Gentleman from Pennsylvania is recognized for 5 minutes.
We heard just the other day the leader of our great ally, Australia, in this chamber talk about the greatness of our nation and how it is the belief that we can achieve anything. This lack of confidence illustrated in the rhetoric here on the floor today about the greatness of America. Maybe we need to walk back a minute and look at how we reinvested and rebuilt Japan and Germany after the war, how we bailed out Mexico, over $40 billion, how today, this day alone, we're spending $2 billion this week in Afghanistan, and we have people all over the world trying to assist others. We will be one of the first nations rushing to help those affected by the tsunami this morning in Japan. This is a great nation. We come today, however, to say to law-abiding, tax-paying citizens who lost their job because of the shenanigans on Wall Street, that even though we were able to help the banks to the tunes of trillions of dollars, that we can't provide a small bridge loan to help a homeowner who's been paying their bills, abiding by the law, and has been affected because of the actions or the inactions of the government and of Wall Street. Now, this is not a new program built on hopes and dreams. This is a replication of a program that has been operating in Pennsylvania for 20 years. It actually has a history in which the state of Pennsylvania has put in $235 million and gotten back $250 million, in which 44,000 homeowners have been able to secure their homes over a small interruption in their employment by getting help over 24 months. This reality, yes, I'd be glad to yield.
From what party the governors of Pennsylvania have come during this period?
Well, this was started under a Republican governor, Governor Thornburgh. I introduced this as a young state legislator with no gray hair, and it has worked very well in the state of Pennsylvania, and I authored it here in this chamber. In 2007, we hit a 50-year high in mortgage foreclosures. It makes no sense to move someone out of their home, ruin their credit for a decade, have their family be homeless, when in the Pennsylvania instance, for less than $7,000 on average, you can help them over a period of difficulty. So here is the Republican majority. They say, look, we can't find it within us as a nation, even though we've helped people all across the globe, to actually pause for a minute for a paltry sum and help a citizen in our own country meet a burden and do it in a way that actually would be more cost-effective for our taxpayers. We should reject this. We should reject the notion that somehow we are so much in debt that we can't afford to help our own citizens. What we should know is we're the wealthiest country in the world. What we should know is just yesterday, we should read the story about how we have a few billionaires who have trillions of dollars. We should remember that last week on the front page of the USA Today, we had a story saying that for $250,000, seats on boards of directors were going wanting in our country because they weren't being paid enough for 6 meetings a year. We can afford to pay our bills. The Republican majority says, well, let's cut 1.5% of what the federal government is going to spend this year in the face of a $1.5 trillion deficit. If they wanted to balance the budget, they should step forward with a much more aggressive plan. This is not about balancing the budget. It won't get anywhere close to balancing the budget. This is about somehow being willing to help big banks when President Bush stepped forward and said we had to do TARP. But when it comes to help a homeowner meet their obligation, somehow we have to do less than our best as a nation. This is not the America that has come to have great allies like the leader of Australia who spoke from that podium, who said we can do anything, and how the whole world looks at us as a beacon of hope. We should think again. This is ill-advised, and I hope that this House rejects this bill and today stands up for an American citizen who needs a little help. Thank you very much. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back.